There we go. Hey, my brother, may I ask you your name for the record, please? Your name?
Willie David Lee.
Willie David Lee. And what's your AIS number?
2045 48.
Mr. Lee, how long you been incarcerated?
Ever since
06. I was looking at your hands and your arms. You having some kind of medical difficulty where you can't really use your arms? And I noticed that you don't even have legs. My God, and they got you in the medical unit where may I ask you a question, because I'm concerned, how do you eat your food?
They feed.
They had to feed you?
Yes.
You can't even eat yourself?
No.
Have they thought about granting you medical parole or medical leave?
No, they denied.
They denied you parole. And what was the reason for them saying they denied you parole when you ain't got legs and you can't use your arms?
Said I was a menace to society.
You're a menace to society, but you don't, in my opinion, you don't pose any kind of threat to society at all. You can't hardly use your arms. You don't have any legs. This is just a sad situation. And how much time you got? You don't mind me asking? You got a life sentence, and they just got you in the medical ward indefinitely because you can't feed yourself and you can't move about, and man, this is just a sad situation. But I want my people, and I want the world to see what they're doing in Alabama, and how the Alabama parole board making decisions contrary to what they get paid to do, saying that people pose a threat to society when they can't even use their limbs. You pose no kind of threat whatsoever, in my opinion, and I just want the world to see, and we want to get this out here for you, Mr. Williams. Okay? God bless you, brother.
I don't know, I woke up like this. My lip said, yeah, my lip no swole, man. I can't get nobody to check up on it. It hurt. It hurt. Yeah. I don't know what else to do. They dislike me because I got this colostomy bag. And look at the bag. It coming off me. The bag coming off me, man. I need help, brother. I don't even know what this gonna do right here. Open up your mouth, nigga. I can't help it. Are you able to swallow it? Yeah, he's a little bit. That's why I asked you for something to eat. They won't let me in the kitchen because they that place small food. It hurts to swallow food. South and hard. It just hurts. How long did it stay like? It been like this going on. It's like the second day that I really know. Yesterday, it was like the ball of pepper. But I'm trying to get you some help, man. Come on, lift up your head one more.
Actually funny how Kay Ivey say that she gonna build new prison, but building new prisons, who gonna work at the prison? Right now today there's 1,200 some plus inmates, and like 3 officers that's working here. Absolutely nobody. If we had a medical emergency right now, we had no way to get any kind of help. There's absolutely no one here at this place. And one in the kitchen, and others are just absolutely no officers in this place. This is the cube. Absolutely no officers in this place. No officers in this prison. No officers in this place here, period. But it's her bright idea to build new prisons, and who gonna watch the inmates that are here? No officers. No officers nowhere. No officers nowhere. No officers nowhere. 1,200 man prison with a host of dormitories and no officers nowhere. Not in a dormitory, nowhere. He trying to get in the dorm. We don't have no officers. We ain't got nobody at the door. Look what they told him on. Garbage court. Rushing one to the infirmary. Man, that's sad.
What's up, everybody? Back at you with another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Today's video, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, right? It's a little bit shaky because we had to do it with a brother that's incarcerated, right? And sometimes they don't have the best phone. Sometimes, the connection ain't the best when we're going through Zoom. But this brother is the one that has been sending me all the videos about what's going on in Alabama. The guy with the ear, bodies being taken out on, the junk or the garbage cart. Just, a wild life in Alabama. We're getting ready to put a documentary together about Alabama, but we wanted to bring you this interview today because after we did this interview, the police actually took this brother to the hole. They had him registered as being in medical. We don't know if they beat him. We don't know what's going on. We do know that an Alabama correctional officer just last week with another inmate was charged with, the killing of another prisoner there in Alabama. The corruption is at its highest levels. But anybody that wants to support this brother, man, you want to write letters to the Alabama Department of Corrections, whatever you can do, we're going to post his stuff up in this video. But this is his interview. Again, a little bit shaky because of the connection, but I think it's a story that we have to bring to people because it's important. It ain't just about telling prison stories and, war stories. It's about change too, right? It's about trying to change a system that is oppressing people. And if you think that this isn't oppressing people, then I don't know what to tell you, man. But let's get into the interview. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Today, we're going inside that Alabama prison system. Some of you might have seen on the news that the cops had just killed a prisoner over there and they got locked up. But we got a brother on today that's a special guest, man, and we're going to talk about him, talk about his life. I think he's been in that prison system for about 25 years. But anyway, Bernard, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and talk a little bit about you, bro.
My name is Bernard Simerson. I've been incarcerated 25 years in the state custody of Alabama Department of Corrections. And, just living through what I lived through. I got a life sentence looking to go back to court this year. And I've just been in the process. It's been a fight of things I've been involved in as far as trying to bring awareness to the public, the atrocities, the things, the bad going on in the ADOC by our government officials and prison officials.
Now, how old were you when you went to prison?
I was 20 years old.
Years old. What were the charges?
Say that again.
What were the charges?
Felony murder.
Felony murder. Was it a robbery?
No, it was no other crime. They called. I don't know why Alabama titled it felony murder. It should have been self-defense. And the judge gave jury instructions on felony murder or self-defense. No in between, no manslaughter down, which I felt like it should have been at the most manslaughter. But they charged me with felony murder. No other crimes happened to it. It was an altercation. I feared for my life. And my people got shot.
Let me ask you this, man. Take them headphones out. Let's, because the volume's horrible, man.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much
but
better.
I can't hear you. Hold up. Let me put you on speakerphone. I have to put you on speakerphone. Oh, God. I don't see how I can do it.
So I know you're in there. You're going there at 20 years old, felony murder. What's it like walking into that prison system, man, as a young man? You got a life sentence, man.
Yeah, you don't know what to expect. It's things have changed a whole lot now compared to when I first came down. Well, you had a lot of level-headedness, meaning you had guys, older guys that tell you the right things to do, how you conduct yourself coming into the prison system, things that you shouldn't do, people that you shouldn't hang around with and involve yourself with. And, that's when I came 25 years ago, 1998. Now it's a whole different ball game, man. It's anything goes. It's your rules. The young guys make the rules now, not the older guys. So you can just imagine how bad that is. A few guys that got influence, they try to spread that influence, but man, it's still young guys are doing what they want to do, despite, what we had to say about it. Kind of chaotic.
What kept you going, being that you had a life sentence, man? What keeps you going every day in there?
Well, spiritually, man, I have given my life to the Lord, and, I had to do what works for me. It might not work for everybody, but it gives me a peace of mind, especially compared to all I've been through. My issues of cruel and unusual punishment, excessive force, being beat by the police, in and out of segregation, 14 years in segregation out of 25 I've done. And, spiritually, man, I have to just, that's the only thing that keeps me going, keeps my sanity, and keeps me at peace with myself.
Talked about the younger guys, right? I served almost 20 years of my life straight in federal prison. And, it was always the older guys that, man, gave you advice and you kind of looked up to them cats. But now, the younger guys in that system, you're in one of the most dangerous systems in the country. There in Georgia,
Yeah.
I always say that, right?
Yeah.
Do the younger guys respect you, being that you've been down this long and you were going hard for people's rights and prisoners' rights and beefing with the cops? Do they respect you?
Yes, and I say that got a lot to do with the way I carry myself, my lifestyle, my straightforwardness. I'm just a genuine, straight up person. I'm gonna tell it like it is. There ain't no game involved when it comes to me. I'm gonna tell it like it is. If I can help you, I'll help you. If I can't, I can't. I'm just being honest, and I think that's the most important thing. Being honest and carry yourself as a man carry himself. They respect me great.
I seen a TikTok video, I think it was, of you talking about, the cops that just got, they murdered someone over there at the prison that you're at, and they just got arrested, I think today or yesterday. And I seen that, and I reached out to your people like, hey, I'd like to speak to this guy about this. Can you tell us kind of what happened with that situation?
Well, it wasn't at the prison that I'm at, but I got a circle that contacts me with all prisons. I want to know everything that's going on because I'm an inmate advocate. Inmate advocate for humane treatment of prisons. So I'm in the loop of everything that's going on so that we can document it and that we can keep tabs of it and try to correct it. We do have a problem of excessive force. We had a couple of murders of 2 inmates by the police at Donaldson last year, 2022. And now you had this particular case here, which is unique compared to them because this guy paid guys so it's like a hit being put on the inmate. And the inmate was beat to death in the process. So, and the officer got arrested almost like hours after I posted the video about the information of crying out to the public that, hey, we need to get help right here. We need attention brought to this immediately because the prison officials were trying to claim that this death was a drug overdose. And there have been a number of cases in Alabama prisons where a guy was murdered by the police or even murdered by inmates. His death was considered natural causes, quite injuries, natural causes or a drug overdose. And they actually covered up the crime of what's considered or possibly be a murder. And in this case, it was the same thing. They was trying to do it, but there was such a quick outcry from me and my team members that we got the public's attention, we got the right people notified, and Montgomery's watching all of my videos, the commissioner's office anyway, so they knew that, they respect me in a way to know that I was putting out good facts about what happened right here. The guy was murdered at the orders of the police officer.
So why did the cops, kind of contract out a hit to another prisoner to kill another guy? What was the reason for it?
What happened in this particular case, the victim's name is, and may he rest in peace, James Murray. James Murray had an altercation with a female officer who's supposed to have was impregnated by the guy who ordered the assassination of him. And they had an altercation earlier, the victim with this lady named, I think Miss Baldwin. And she wouldn't let him eat breakfast in the morning. He was like, I want to eat. She was like, you're too late. She pulled out a spray can and sprayed it on him, and he assaulted her in the process, from what I heard. And they locked him up. They roughed him up and they locked him up. But that was not enough for Sergeant Sanders, who, like I say, was the baby's father, was the father of the lady that was assaulted. And he wanted more blood. And this is a common thing, just the mentality of certain officers and staff. It's almost like inmate criminal mentality, or we handle things in a street type fashion. But these are people that are sworn to come here, work, and uphold the law. But yet they think like the people they're overseeing. And that's what happened next.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think that? Because I've seen some brutal videos from Alabama. I've seen some pictures. I've seen some very, very bad things that are going on over there. What do you think would fix that, man? I know you got young kids coming in there, 17, 18 years old with life. They feel like they don't have nothing to lose. Do you think that there was some type of incentive over there, like parole system, or, they could possibly get out? Do you think that would change the violence over there?
Oh, definitely. Of course. It didn't get bad until 2018 when a guy named Jimmy Spencer was released on parole, got out and killed two older women and a child because he was trying to get high and things like that. And the Attorney General and the governor went on a rampage. They were like, hey, he should never have made parole, and we're going to make it hard for anybody trying to make parole from that day, from that time forth, 2018. And what happened was when they started doing a 90% parole denial rate of the whole entire inmate population, guys gave up. It was like you took the wind of them having any hope of being released early or even on good behavior. This wasn't just affecting bad guys. This was affecting rehabilitated guys, guys that was on the right track, doing the programs and doing what they supposed to do to make it back home to their loved ones. They were denying them, setting them off 5 years. It created such a chaotic scene in this place. The suicide rate, frustration, homicide rate, everything skyrocketed as a result of the decisions our government officials made in saying we're going to deny as many paroles as possible. That definitely had an outcome on effect on it.
So you're serving a life sentence. You go in at 20. I mean, how much time do you have to serve before you see the parole board, or is life life?
I got a life sentence with the possibility of parole, and I've been up twice. I did 17 years and went up, set off 5 years, and I was just set off 5 years in 2021, and I go back up in 2026. But I do have lawyers on my case, try to get me before the judge and get a time reduction as we speak.
I hope that works out for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the most brutal things that you've seen, man? You've been there 25 years. What are some of the most brutal things that, Bernard has seen in that system?
Just recently, January of 2022, last year, I woke up early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. A guy was stabbed in the heart, running right past my bed, leaking, and he bled out before he could even make it out the door. Early in the morning, and it was just a domestic dispute. A guy had an argument. They had one simple argument. The other guy called him a name, and that was it. It's like some of the conversations can be resolved, but with the frustration level so high in the state of Alabama, with the level of hopelessness for any chance of getting home, small things can escalate to big things, and that's the sad thing. And I don't think our government officials realize just how much of a role they're playing into the frustration inside the prison. When you deny guys that's trying to show that, hey, I'm ready for society. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm ready. I'm doing the right thing. And clear records, and you still deny them. It just creates that kind of environment where guys are ready to pull the trigger on anything, and they will fall back up under the assumption that, hey, or the excuse they use is all about respect. No, you don't kill a man about respect. Come on, And those are the things I'm working to try to correct.
I read a book while I was in prison, Just Mercy. It was by the lawyer down there. Was it Brian Stevenson? And, he talked about the stuff that they're doing down there in Alabama. So let me ask you a real question. When you went before the parole board, were they white, black, Hispanic? What were the people on the parole board?
Well, in Alabama, we are not allowed to go in front of the parole board or even show our face at all. And we just tried to pass a bill that would grant the opportunity for us to do that. It was denied. We don't, and I think it's two women, one black woman, one white woman, and a white male, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the ratio, that's the race of these parole board members, and we don't see them at all in Alabama.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. You don't even get a chance to present your case, in the physical form and say, hey, this is who I am today. I made some irrationally responsible choices when I was a young man, but I've turned my life around. You don't even get that opportunity in Alabama.
You don't get the opportunity to speak up. It's so unfair that the victim's rights, I don't have protesters in my case, but the victim's rights have all the time to speak. But if somebody goes and represents you, one of the guys, one of us, they only have 3 minutes to speak. So they have 3 minutes to speak, then the victim rights come back and say whatever they want to say after that. It's just very unfair. I think even the sitcom show Vice, if you heard of the DICE, they did an episode on how the parole board is set up and how unfair it is and how just a waste of taxpayers' money that they're doing by denying everybody.
I wrote an article while I was in prison for the Criminal Legal News or the Prisoners Legal News, one of them two publications, right? About
Yeah.
parole in all the different states and how vicious it is, how people really don't have a real opportunity. It's just on paper. I hope that you guys down there get an opportunity. And I think that, if somebody's watching, some of the lawmakers are watching, they should realize that, if you're giving incentives to people, you're giving these young dudes a chance to earn their way out of prison, that perhaps they could curb the violence because the violence is out of control down there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it does good to society as well. Society should be concerned about putting a guy in an unrehabilitated atmosphere and not helping him correct it or not rewarding his rehabilitation. And that's why guys say, man, what's the purpose of it? And they return back to society unrehabilitated because of the decisions of government officials. So I think it goes both ways. Not only is it bad for the prison setting, but you turn around, you have to send release these guys right back to the public. Why don't you offer them the help that they want and reward the help? Because in my opinion, most of these guys in here just struggle with drug addiction. That doesn't call for a prison term, and they struggle with hopelessness and mental health. That can another remedy for that can be mental health counseling. Everything doesn't require, in my opinion, prison cell or sentence.
Do you think they're ever going to correct that system over there?
We working real hard, and like I say, my videos have been viewed by millions since I've been posting these videos of the issues, the medical neglect, the mental health neglect, the overcrowding, the understaffing, the atmosphere. Even officers now coming forward as a result of my videos saying, hey, it's corrupted, it's broken beyond repair. We need change. Our government officials need to step up. And we got even Governor Newsom in California telling Kay Ivey, which is the governor of Alabama, hey, do you not get it? Do you not understand? Your system is broken. You need to correct it. So much so that William Barr, up under the Trump administration for Donald Trump, the Attorney General office had to file a lawsuit in 2020, one of the biggest lawsuits filed by the federal government against the state agency, saying that, hey, there are too many people dying, being murdered, too many things are occurring, abuse at its most deplorable level. And our government officials don't think anything's wrong. They say the solution is new prisons, which they're trying to do now. That's not the answer. And I'm hoping
definitely not the answer, man. I think the answer is rehabilitation and giving people an incentive, man. If you work your way out, or if you rehabilitate yourself, you're working, that you can earn your way out of prison. I think that's a very important component, man.
Yes, very important. And I've been given the privilege also. News column journalist, national news column journalist reached out to me and said she would give me her space. She thinks that I'm doing such a good job on TikTok videos and interviewing journalism that she's giving me my own column space, which I've already started. And the newspaper should be published, articles should be published any day now. So she wanted to give me that platform to try to get the word out, the importance of just how dire the situation is in Alabama. It's a crisis. It's an emergency. Even right now, you got 4 officers trying to watch a 1,300-man prison system. I know you did your time in the Fed. You know that's ridiculous. Right now, we got 4 officers here guarding 1,300 inmates. Impossible.
Tell you this, right? I've done 4 years in New York. I did almost 18 years in the Feds. A lot of people think the Feds is Camp Good Day special times, and it's not. It's viciously violent over there. People are dying over there. And I thought that this was probably the most dangerous system until I got out and I was able to see the videos in Alabama and Georgia. I mean, I got videos where, not on no racial stuff, where they're tying up white inmates and stabbing them, telling them, call your mother and tell your mother I need $1,000 on Cashapp. And I'm like, damn. And I've seen some vicious done to, other African-American brothers by other African-Americans over there, where they got the kid tied up, they're stabbing him, he's screaming for help, and he ain't got no help, man. And the problem is that these young folks, right, these young guys in Alabama, Georgia, in the federal system, we're too busy fighting each other, so we can't bring about the change of, hey, look, this is what we really need. Do you see that over there?
Oh, you just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, they are distracted. They are distracted by money, because a lot of stuff results in violence. Hey, you owe me, I want my money. And sometimes it can be as little as nothing. I've seen guys get stabbed to death for something less than $10. But again, it's the frustration. Really, I don't think it's about debt. I don't think it's about, oh, you owe me, I need my money. No, this is acting out of my frustration. I can't get my freedom. I want my freedom. I can't get it. I can't do anything about it. And this is the only way I know how to vent my rage. I think that's really what's going on in Alabama. It's not about the disrespect or the anger or why am I mad at this guy here. I want to let my frustration out based on the circumstance. I may not never see the streets, and I should see it. And I think that's the biggest problem here in Alabama.
If you take a 16, 17, 18-year-old young man, you should allow him an opportunity to work his way out of prison, man. It might not happen today. It might not happen 5 years from now, but 10, 15 years of incarceration and rehabilitation, turning your life around. I believe in second chances, man. For, pretty much most people, unless you kill kids, man. You kill a little kid, man, I feel differently. But, I want to ask you this too, right? What about the cops? When they respond to a stabbing over there, do they come full force? Are the cops afraid? You said there's only 4 cops for 1,300 prisoners. Are they afraid?
Well, back years ago, when you have a stabbing, they would come, all the officers would run to the scene of the crime or scene of the incident, secure the person to the medical unit and try to apprehend the victim. They would lock down the camp until they find a guy, and then they would lock down the camp until they find a knife. It's totally different now. The guy that just recently got stabbed, I personally saw him going to the officer, walking to the officer, and the officer escorted him, didn't get on the phone, didn't call anybody, just escorted him to the healthcare unit, got him some treatment. They went out the back gate by ambulance, and we don't know who did it. They don't care. And I'm almost can't fault them to the sense of this here, that they don't have the staff. You can't lock down the prison looking for a guy that an incident happened on a yard and you don't know who to even, because ain't nobody giving you information or anything like that. So it's just totally different in response now. Anything goes in Alabama prison system, and I think that's what encourages the violence even more. We allowed to do anything. And my job, my role, I try to play in, like I said, I'm minister on the yard. I try to speak reason and logic and hope, and I do it in love, in the spirit of love. I want to help my brothers. I don't want to hurt them. I think a lot of guys see the genuineness in this here. I want to create a way and a platform big enough to where the right ears hear my message and take heed to it and begin to change the way our government officials operate and reward us and reward good behavior, give the guys hope, install hope back into a hopeless situation.
Listen, man, I hope that they start to change some things. I appreciate you coming on. Before we get ready to go, is there anything that you want to say to the public?
Like I say, man, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. I think change always comes from exposure. If you remember back in the civil rights era in Alabama, when the guys were spraying, the police were spraying water hoses and putting dogs on the little kids. And when the videos was recorded of it, it opened up people's eyes. Like, wow, we know it was racism going on, but wow, we really see it now. I'm hoping that's the same effect my videos have. Everything can't be seen, but I'm hoping that people's eyes open up. Hey, it's really bad. Like you said when you seen the video, it's really that bad in Alabama. We need help. Everybody is not contributing to the violence. There are some of us guys who have learned our lesson and really want to make a difference, not only in the world, but in the prison system and society. And we need the world to hear and understand and know so that we can have another chance at life.
You need to be on a big platform, man, like Fox News and CNN. You need to be on there, man. You need to show some of the stuff that's going on there because the world needs to see it, man. And you know who else needs to see it? These young kids that are out here committing crimes, not realize that, you commit a crime in Alabama, you commit a crime in Georgia, in Florida. Man, your life could be lost over $5 when you get to prison. You can this dude in your neighborhood and someone in there could take your life while you're asleep. So, I definitely appreciate you coming on. And I think we're going to talk a little more. If there's anything I can do to help you brothers, man, I'm willing to do that. But I know there's a lot of dudes over there with cell phones. And I hope that they see this. And if they see it, I hope that they understand that, look, man, we're running around killing each other and we're going hard, man. We're living hard like we're in the street. We're living hard. But if you go that hard on the system for change, that you can bring about change, man. You see it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it throughout history.
Yeah.
But them young boys need to stop killing each other over there, man.
Yeah. You couldn't have said it more better than that. And I'm praying that that's what happens.
I'm gonna say this: it don't matter, man. It don't matter what color you are, what race you are. Look, man, we're all human beings, man. Someone's getting killed in that prison system. That's somebody's son. When I see these dudes getting tied up, man, and beat and stabbed, I'm like, damn, man. Somebody's mother's gonna see their son being beat like this. There was a video floating around 3 weeks ago in Georgia. They go in the cell and they're stabbing the kid, and he's leaking, he's bleeding, he's dead. They drag him down the hallway and leave him at the officer station.
I saw that. I saw that.
Absolutely horrible, man. But listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. And, you know, hopefully this will get the message out a little bit, man. I'm doing this because I want people to see what's going on over there. I'm going to tell people if they like what we're doing, man, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.